Hello, America. How are you? I want to talk to you a little bit there today about the past and the present. Back in 1966, I was in Vietnam, and we got a call to go help another company who was under fire and in combat. Well, they brought us in and dropped us into a village. No sooner we was out and on the ground, the choppers left. Bombs started busting around us. Ended up being tear gas. We didn't know where was the enemy or friends putting it on us. But running around there coughing, couldn't see, couldn't get your breath, crying, I fell in a ditch. People were running over top of me, stomping me, screaming, crying. And the only thing on my mind was I was going to be captured and had to live in a cage. That was the greatest fear on my mind. Not dying, not getting wounded, but being captured. I say this to bring up a story of a man called Lenny. He spent 7.5 years in a cage because the government would not get him out. He refused to come back to America once he did get out because he said the American people deserted him. And we did. We left everything in the hands of the government, and that's wrong. But I got involved in the 80s of financing operations through him and another mercenary here in the States to get the POWs out of Vietnam and bring them home. We brought home a young man that was a slave. They took him out of a village and brought him home. He was a son of an American captain and a Vietnamese woman. And they had got killed trying to get out of Vietnam during the Tex offense. But we brought him out. We had to sneak him into the United States, and they brought him to my home. I got to meet him. He couldn't speak any English hardly at all. But he's alive and well in the United States today. He has a business and he has a family. I reckon his folks, his parents' family got a DNA test on him and proved he belonged to them. But I, myself, lost my business and everything else. I've kind of been involved in it. They put up road signs. No dump trucks allowed to Adkins pits. They came on my job sites and told the people I was working for they would refuse to take any of my work. They moved their own equipment in on my stuff and took my permits away from me and gave it to themselves. Yes, I sued them. But the time it come to federal court, they wiped out the law it was filed under. Getting back to Lenny, he sued George W. Bush Sr. for leaving him in a cage for 7.5 years for political reasons. He came to Washington, D.C. a little bit after when the boy came to my home. Of course, they wiped that law out he filed under too. But he came to my home site from Washington, D.C. to thank me for my support. I've never seen the man since or heard from him since. I don't know where he's alive or where he's dead. But if this man ever does get to be president of the United States, he will find out. And if he is still alive, we will bring him home with honor. Not only did he take the punishment for serving this country, but he got punished for trying to get those out that were living in a cage like he did. Our government is corrupt. It's all about dollar. It's not about the soldier. It's not about the American people. It's about what they can put in their pocket. The American soldier goes off to war. He signs a contract to America to give his life, his family, everything he owns to protect this land for those of us who live here. He comes home wounded. The VA most of the time won't pay his bills. I owe medical bills now that they won't pay. I've talked to many young soldiers that they lost everything on account of bills that the VA would not pick up for their wounds. Yes, we get allotted money for it, but most of the money don't come down to take care of the people and the responsibility that's supposed to. It's in turn sifted off for others' priorities, others' jobs, other things. And what they do, they take, instead of fixing the wounded soldier's problems, they dope him up and keep him in trial land instead of fixing him up and setting him back on his feet to have a productive life. I know. I've been there. I know where it comes from. I refuse their medicine 90% of the time. Very little will I take. But pain is horrible. You live with it. I've lived with it since Vietnam. But that's neither here nor there. What I'm saying is American people signed a contract with that soldier that they would take care of him if he comes home messed up. But it ends up being the family who picks up most of the bills, whose life is changed because they've got to commit their life to taking care of him. They got to put their savings on the line. They got to put their homes on the line. They got to put their vacations on the line because of the wounded. He's got to have help. America, we can do better. We can stand up and change this world. We can change in the United States. We can change the way we treat our veterans. I'm a man who will stand behind them. If they get captured, I will do everything in my power to make sure they come home. There's an unwritten law between the soldiers. We do not leave one behind. Many a man has died bringing a dead body out. It's a cause that we're committed to. They belong home. They belong where they were born, what they fought for. The American people owe them. We owe them that. I will never back away fighting for him. It's what we should do, what we're supposed to do. The soldier is one. But with the American people, he's one too. Because they have committed their life to his life. There's no split, people. Our government has split us apart. and have us barking at one another like two dogs. And the crud that's running for these offices today, it's a shame. It's a disgrace to the soldier and to the American people and to the world that we have nothing better to offer than what is running for the candidacy of President of the United States. I tell the soldiers this: if I commit you to war, it will be to finish the job once we start. I will stand behind you. I will see that you're taken care of as long as I can. I will put so much pressure on the United States people that they will band together and help me bring you home if you're in a cage. America, stand up and help me make an America proud. Make us shine in front of the world. Make us have pride in ourselves, in our government, in our nation. The America flag stands for something. It represents a proud country. It represents the many drops of blood that was shed for this country. It's not the politicians that made this country. It was the soldier. It was the people who stood up and demanded that they wanted this nation to be one nation under God. It had a purpose, and that purpose is still here, to guide the world into peace and harmony. I am Bob Adkins, and I will stand, and I am standing. Bob Adkins, President of the United States. Thank you.